This program is about abstract art because it's a natural for me. I think about it all the time. I paint all the time. I do it all the time. So let me tell you a little bit about it. People say abstract art is powerful, emotional, that it can move you, and that it is filled with energy. I call myself an abstract artist, even though I paint many different types of styles, because I just enjoy painting and creating and exploring color and harmony. But I wanted to share with you in this video a little bit about the background of abstract art and share with you some insights I've learned and people in the arts I love. Some critics say Wassily Kandinsky was the pioneer or father of abstract art, so I guess we should start with him. Kandinsky was very much involved with music, and he thought that music, although abstract by nature, was a driving force in thinking about his art. He likened painting to composing music. I wanted to share with you the idea of counterpoint, which is one of the concepts he was best known for, because he used the opposite ideas of different elements opposing one another create better balanced compositions. Let me share about that. Counterpoint, as we know, is a comparison or contrast of two melodies. But for Kandinsky, this is comparison or contrast of color patterns, of shapes, of lines, of color or form. The music in the background is counterpoint composition, and maybe you recognize the sound. In music, it's combining two melodic sounds together. So think about that in combining your art forms as well. I love this quote: lend your ears to music and open your eyes to painting. And a crucial concept was the idea of counterpoint or the comparison or contrast of two melodies, but in art, it was the comparison or contrast of color patterns, of color and form, and in some cases, images crossed one another. I have to tell you that counterpoint changed my art and made me realize the power that images and the contrasting of colors and shapes can create powerful abstracts. I have to say, I really admire his work and have studied it a great deal. If you're an artist, I encourage you in your art journey to understand and study other artists and learn why they created the elements they did and apply it to your art. The curving arch holds the images together. Because images are layered or on top of one another, they really are stronger, something to remember. But let's get back to our initial question. Who really is the first abstract painter? There is some debate about who created the first abstract painting, but Wassily Kandinsky's watercolor titled Aquarelle Abstraite is credited by many as the first because of the inscription abstraite, which means abstract, in the title. There's another artist, a woman, who really should be credited as the first abstract painter. Hilma af Klint's abstract works predate Kandinsky by several years. So, while her work wasn't publicly shown until after her death, it raises the question, who truly deserves the title of first abstract artist? But I think the credit should go to Hilma af Klint, and I saw her work at the Guggenheim, and I was so impressed. Her work made my spirit soar. Hilma produced a great body of work and was from Sweden and really did paint paintings of the future. I absolutely was entranced by her work. I urge you to go see it if you ever have a chance. I was so impressed with how large they were and how many. The detail and color are amazing. Hilma af Klint's abstract paintings were deeply influenced by her spiritualism and theosophy. which was a movement focused on achieving knowledge of God through meditation and spiritual experiences. She never even referred to her paintings as art, but as revelations of her contact with higher spiritual powers, and the reason she painted was under their direction. She believed that colors and shapes could represent the soul's journey. Klint interpreted message from spirits called High Master through seances and translated these messages into abstract works filled with symbolic shapes that were absolutely incredible to see in person. She wrote 23,000 pages of notes and detailed her belief that these forms were like tips of a colored pyramid reaching a circle represented the soul's journey to spiritual enlightenment. Well, there's been considerable debate whether Hilma af Klint considered her work art. There is no doubt about its groundbreaking nature. What do you think? Would you call these abstract paintings? Her paintings are infused with spiritual symbolism, and they represent a unique artistic vision and mark her place as a true pioneer in the world of abstract art. Maybe because I'm a woman, I'd like to give Hilma af Klint the credit as being the first abstract painter, as they predated Kandinsky. Her paintings are infused with spiritual symbolism, and they represent a unique artistic vision and mark her place as a true pioneer in the world of abstract art. I personally found her work breathtaking. Her abstract paintings predate those of Wassily Kandinsky. And did you know that if Wassily Kandinsky had not named this watercolor abstract watercolor, he wouldn't have been recognized as the first person to create non-representational art. It was from this simple title that the recognition came to Kandinsky. Now, imagine that. So next time you think about it, make sure your titles are clear and important. So let's understand a little bit more about abstract art. Abstract art is art that does not attempt to represent an accurate depiction of a visual reality. It's shapes and colors and forms. So when we ask Google what is abstract art, this is what Google says. Abstract art is a form of art that doesn't really attempt to accurately represent visual reality. Instead, it uses shapes, colors, forms, and gestural marks to convey ideas, emotions, or concepts. It abstracts reality. For me, abstract art abstracts reality. It isn't reality. We're not like a camera making a landscape, but abstracting that landscape. What is abstract art? Abstract art is art that does not attempt to represent an accurate depiction of a visual reality, but instead uses shapes, colors, and forms. Here's one of my paintings called Secret Forest Gray, inspired by Wassily Kandinsky. Here in Kandinsky's Blue Comb, he used more curves and more crossing elements that really make the composition very strong and moving. But I also think about basic questions that many people have about how do we respond to abstract art. Is abstract art about something? How do you understand it? How do you make sense of it? One way artists can learn to paint is by emulating other artists and looking at their styles and trying to do some of the things that they did in order to help you and help inspire you in your art. Why don't you give that a try? Pick your favorite art and then try to create something that is in that style, or at least similar to it. But I couldn't talk about abstract art if I didn't talk about one of my favorite artists, Jackson Pollock. Jackson Pollock was known for his drip or his poured paintings, where he flicked and painted, sometimes with a stick or a brush, and he dropped the paint onto the canvas. Let's take a moment and look at this painting closely so that you can actually see the layers and the detail and how the colors overlap. I think what makes this painting successful is the movement, and you might notice the counterpoint where lines cross and shapes cover each other. Jackson Pollock said, "Every good painter paints what he is." For artists like myself, I create abstract art because I love color and shape, and I love the power that color and line can cause in a viewer. It can take your eye and your emotions almost anywhere. But the whole point of this brief presentation was to share with you abstract art and share with you some information about it to help you understand it more. But if you're a painter, I just encourage you to let your emotions out and to explore colors and create different things that inspire you. This is Cheryl Johnson, and I'm an artist, and I hope you have more joy every day as you pursue your art.